and a warm welcome to TBC News. Our headlines tonight: Kigamboni water project to end water shortage in Dar es Salaam. Bustani ya Mungu, a wonderful destination. Good evening, I am Teddy Mparanyanga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBConline, and get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages at TBConline. President Samia Suluhu Hassan says Kigamboni water project will ease water shortage to the people of Dar es Salaam region. The president made the remarks after the launch of Kigamboni water project, which will produce 70 million liters of water. Also, President Samia witnessed the signing of Kidunda Dam water project, which upon its completion shall end water shortage in Dar es Salaam region. Lulua Mohammed has more.
Recently, most parts in Dar es Salaam faced the shortage of clean water supply, which resulted to water rationing so that every individual could get fair share of the service. Today at Kigamboni, President Samia Suluhu Hassan witnessed the signing contract of Kidunda Water Dam project alongside the launch of Kigamboni water projects and handed over the water well drilling machines and dam extraction machines that will be an end to water crisis in Dar es Salaam.
Mradi huu pamoja na kuhudumia wilaya Kigamboni pia umelenga kuboresha huduma ya maji.
This project will not only serve Kinondoni district, but it also aims at improving water supply services in the aforementioned areas. It is my hope that the water supply shortage will be reduced in Dar es Salaam following the insufficient rainfall which led to the low volume of water at Ruvu River. We have received information that rain has started. Let's pray for it to continue so as this source of water can remain as a reservoir.
Na chanzo hiki kibakie kwamba ni akiba pale ambapo tutapata upungufu, basi tunajua tuna akiba ya kutosha Kigamboni.
The Kidunda Water Dam project construction is expected to start soon and will take 36 months, and upon completion will end the shortage of water services in Dar es Salaam region.
Kila mmoja katika eneo lake ahakikishe
everyone should ensure that the water supply infrastructures are well preserved so as they can be utilized effectively. I urge regional and district commissioners to really preserve the infrastructure here, because otherwise they will perish in a short while.
Niwaagize wakuu wa mikoa mlioko hapa na wengine wanaotusikiliza.
On his side, the Minister for Water, Juma Aweso, advises the citizens to end human activities on water sources.
Ununuzi wa mitambo ni jambo moja. Usimamizi wa mitambo ili iwe endelevu.
Purchasing of the machines is one thing, but ensuring the sustainability of these machineries is also another crucial aspect. Madam President, we had an authority whose main aim was to drill boreholes and dams, but after the introduction of kurasa, the authority has turned into department. I urge you, Madam President, to revive the institution to become an authority.
Upatikanaji wa maji mjini na vijijini 85 iende kutimilika na ilani ya Chama cha Mapinduzi iweze kutekelezeka.
The Kigamboni water projects and Kidunda water dam project together will add on to water reserve and will see an end to water supply in the metropolitan city of Dar es Salaam. Lulua Mohammed, TBC.
To understand more on how the implementation of Kigamboni and Kidunda water projects will be carried out, we are joined live by DAWASA Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Cyprian Luhemeja, who talks to Nasa Kingo.
Thank you very much, Teddy Mparanyanga. As you understand, today is a great day for Tanzania. We witnessed earlier today the official launch of the Kigamboni water project, and also the signing, which signifies the start of the construction of Kidunda water project, which will cost about 329 billion Tanzanian shillings. All these projects are aimed to end the water shortage across Tanzania, not only Tanzania, Dar es Salaam and coast region. Now, I'm joined by the Chief Executive Officer of DAWASA, who will tell us about the whole plan, as they are the main implementers of the project. How are they set up to make sure that these projects are implemented? Engineer Cyprian Luhemeja, welcome to TBC News.
Thank you very much.
Now, as you are the main implementer of this project, how can you assure Tanzanians that these projects will truly ease the water rationing across Dar es Salaam and Coast region?
The design of Kigamboni was meant for Kigamboni, a part of Temeke, and a part of Mkuranga. That was the design. And the design was to produce about 80 million liters per day. Today, we've managed to score 70 liters per day. We are still having 4 boreholes at hand, of which we are expecting maybe in December to be completed. Therefore, the design by itself was part of Kigamboni, partially Temeke, and then Mkuranga. Why we have decided to take water in Dar es Salaam? Because of this drought. Therefore, people, after rainfall comes back, our business back, we shall be producing water about 590 million liters per day. Therefore, people in Dar es Salaam will all benefit from this success story.
And what about now at this particular moment?
Currently, what we are doing, we are taking water from Kigamboni through Mwalimu Nyerere Bridge, taking down to Dar es Salaam. Currently, we are supplying water in Ilala, part of Temeke, Kurasini, Mvinjeri. We are also supplying water in Kinondoni, also Bay, Masaki, Biafra, and we're also sending water in Magumeni and Tandale. This tells that few liters that were coming from Lower Luvu will not be maintained to other parts of the Dar es Salaam. That's how we are saying from now going on, the rationing schedule will be reduced, will be revisited, and we can also minimize the rationing hours towards December.
Some of the residents of Dar es Salaam also felt that you actually give out the water rationing schedule, but somehow it's not being followed. Some of the areas do not have water for weeks. How this time around this will change?
This will change because when we are introducing the rationing schedule, the production was 300 liters per day. As of today and going forward, we've improved by 100 liters. Now we are producing 400 liters per day. So this means part of the Dar es Salaam, specifically Kinondoni, Ilala, will more or less be taken off from the rations. And part of Kinondoni, the Mbezi people, Kalongawima, their rationing time will also be revisited. But we have received good news from the Morogoro Mountains. It has started raining. So we hope maybe in 7 days from now or 15 days from now, we might have more water in the river.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Back to you, Teddy.
Thank you, Nasa Kingu. Moving on to the next news. More than 4 million tons of food have been set aside by the government through the National Food Reserve Agency, NFRA, to be sent to various areas in the country that have been reported to experience food shortage. So far, 20 councils have been reached by the service. This statement was made in the parliament in Dodoma earlier today by the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa when he made a motion to postpone the 12th parliament's activities, where he said that the food will be sold at a low cost to the people.
Serikali kupitia wakala wa taifa wa hifadhi ya chakula NFRA.
The government through NRA has set aside 4,552,300 billion tons in areas with food shortage. Along these initiatives, the government continues to look deep into the issue of food availability, especially grains.
Upatikanaji wa chakula, hususani mazao ya nafaka na kuchukua hatua mbalimbali.
Vice President Dr. Philip Mpango calls on all Tanzanians, especially artists, to avoid imitating every culture without considering national values. The Vice President made the remarks while opening the 41st Bagamoyo International Arts and Culture Festival at the Bagamoyo Art and Culture Institute Tasuba in Coast Region. He incited music and film artists to ensure that they adhere to the values and guidelines of the National Arts Council BASATA and the Tanzania Film Board during the production of any content. On his side, the Minister for Culture, Arts and Sports, Mohamed Mchengera, says that the ministry aims to raise the level of Sauti za Busara Festival in Zanzibar, as well as Bagamoyo Festival to international standards. The 41st Bagamoyo International Arts and Culture Festival is being held for 3 days from the 10th of November 2022 to the 12th of November 2022 and will involve various stakeholders and art groups from inside and outside Tanzania.
Viongozi katika mamlaka zote za tawala za mikoa na serikali za mitaa.
Leaders at all levels, at the regional administration and local government, should continue to cooperate with the Ministry of Culture, Arts and Sports, and this includes preserving areas set for these activities.
The President of Zanzibar and Chairperson of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has today sworn in various government officials that he appointed recently to hold various positions. In an event that was held at the State House in Zanzibar and attended by various national leaders, including the first Vice President of Zanzibar, Hamed Suleiman Abdullah, Dr. Mwinyi swore in Dr. Islam Saif Salum to be Permanent Secretary in the Office of Second Vice President, Mariam Juma Sadala to be Permanent Secretary, Work and Empowerment in the President's Office. In addition, he swore in Abeda Rashid Abdallah as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Community, Development, Gender, Elderly and Children. Saleh Juma Musa as a State House Secretary, Hamis Abdallah Said to be Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Practical Training, and Thabit Idaros Faina to be Director of Elections in the Zanzibar Electoral Commission. The revolutionary government of Zanzibar, through various ministries, plans to invest and improve environments for local people who engage in seaweed farming and sea cucumber production in order to add value and push forward blue economy policy in Zanzibar. China is to grant zero tariff treatment on 98% of taxable items originating from 10 countries, including Tanzania, from December 1st, 2022. Tanzanian ambassador to China, Mbelwa Kairuki, has applauded the move and says the agreement gives an opportunity to Tanzanian business community to export more products in China. In an interview with TBC, Ambassador Kairuki starts by explaining how this initiative will stimulate Tanzanian economy.
Tanzania is among 10 countries that has been granted tax incentives on 98% of our products that will be exported to China. This is a huge opportunity, and it will definitely go a long way to boost trade between our two countries. Now, as you know, our two leaders met last week in Beijing, and they reached important consensus to increase trade between our two countries, especially Tanzania's exports to China. Our goal is to reach $1 billion exports by the 2025. And this measure that has been announced by Chinese Customs Authority will go a long way towards enabling our exports to China to increase and reach the target that we've set to ourselves. Now, Tanzanian farmers, Tanzanian traders, they have to tap into this opportunity, export more products in China, especially sesame, soybean, cassava, coffee, spices, and so on. And also, this extension of incentive goes also to livestock products, fisheries products, and mineral products. So I take this opportunity to thank the Chinese government, but more importantly, to thank our president, who initiated the talk with the Chinese government during our meeting with President Xi Jinping of China.
The local tourists from different regions of Tanzania tried the unique taste of cultural tourism by visiting the historical sites located in Iringa district as a part of the ongoing Karibu Kusini Tourism Fair. Speaking to TBC, the domestic tourists disclosed to relish the adventure and urged the government to put more efforts into promoting the cultural attractions found in the country. Irene Makalinga from Iringa has more details.
Cultural tourism is not very popular in many parts of Tanzania. But the director of Fahariyetu project, Jameson Sanga, said that they decided to show people around so as to add value in the tourism itinerary and encourage the tourists to stay more and enjoy both wild and cultural attractions.
And we do this only for the reason that we want to add value to the tourists when they come to Tanzania, especially to the southern part and specifically in Iringa region. They shouldn't be just going straight to Ruaha National Park, but rather they should be thinking of visiting communities so that they can learn more about our cultural heritages, about our lifestyles, about our norms, about our foods, about our dress codes, and our likes. How do we raise our families? So all of these, they add value to the tourism.
The acting director of Antiquities Division in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism, Dr. Kristowaja Ntando, commended the Iringa region for establishing its own museum and urged other regions to emulate the idea.
Police of cultural heritage and antiquities law, every institutions and every local government and private sector, they are supposed to have their own museums and for conserving the cultural heritage in Tanzania. And this together will promote cultural tourism in Tanzania.
The foreign tourists also regard Chief Mkwawa, who fought German colonialism, as a hero.
He is a hero. He fights against the German colonialists, and several years later he was captured by the Germans. And
we've been to Moshi, Arusha, and Dodoma, but I think Iringa is the best place because people are more friendly. And
tomorrow, the domestic tourists will visit Ruaha National Park. Irene Mwakalinga, TBC, Iringa.
Thank you, Irene Mwakalinga. On to the next news. The revolutionary government of Zanzibar is taking measures to improve seaweed farming and sea cucumber production. Both are among the major sea products from Zanzibar exported to the world market. Swamu Mavura reporting from Zanzibar.
The revolutionary government of Zanzibar, through various ministries, plan to invest and improve environment for local people who engage in seaweed farming and sea cucumber production in order to add value and push forward the blue economy policy in Zanzibar. According to the recent data and statistics, Zanzibar is among the world's largest producer of seaweed and sea cucumber. Up to August this year, 17 tons of seaweed and 30 tons of sea cucumber exported. Due to that statistics, members gaining knowledge of best hatchery of sea cucumber and seaweed farming practice in Zanzibar.
Tanzania is one of IORA member states who has a progress in the aquaculture and also blue economy sectors. And we see that we need to share what have been achieved by Tanzania to other members country.
Since there are several cucumber farmers, sea cucumber farmers and seaweed farmers here in Zanzibar.
Visiting hatchery and seaweed farming was part of the training.
It was good. We've seen what people they are doing in Unguja and how they are getting the sea cucumber seed. So we'll try when I will be back in Mozambique to replicate what I've seen here in Zanzibar.
So this training gave us the opportunity to learn about sea cucumber hatching and nursery, which we're going to use on an everyday basis. We're starting actually aquaculture in Seychelles. It's a new industry and there's lots of potential for improvement and growth.
The workshop has provided new window of opportunity to learn by doing, to assess the pros and cons of aquaculture practice, to evaluate performance objectives, and to invest properly.
For us to succeed in our objectives, we need to fight marine biodiversity loss, combat marine pollution, protect our critical habitats, tackle climate change, strengthen value addition, and support our seaweed, sea, cucumber, mud crabs, and fish farming communities. It is for this reason that in Tanzania, our government has dedicated a huge portion of the National Post-COVID-19 Recovery Fund from the IMF in community empowerment in fisheries and aquaculture.
Somo Mavura, TBC, Zanzibar.
Moving on to another touristic piece. Known to the locals as Bustani ya Mungu, the Swahili word for God's garden, Kitulo National Park is one of its kind. This place is also famously known as the Serengeti of flowers, home to the world's most fascinating species of flora. Margaret Getty has more details.
Kitulo National Park is located on the southern highlands of Tanzania, and it's the only national park in the country that hosts this unique species of flora. This is a very rare botanical place, hosting about 400 plant species, most of them being wildflowers. Kitulo National Park is amazingly beautiful. Here, 45 endemic orchid species were recorded and are found only in the park than any other part of the world. Kitulo is also home to endemic species of butterfly, chameleon, lizards that further enhances biological wealth of God's garden. Between late November to April, during main rainy seasons, is where these marvelous flowers of Kitulo bloom in its full glory. Tourists from around the globe visit this park to marvel this unique creation of nature. Added to its natural attraction and uniqueness, Kitulo Plateau is the natural resting site for intercontinental migrating birds during different periods of the year on their way to Europe. This place is also a bird watcher's paradise because of the presence of beautiful species of bird that resides here. Kitulo National Park is the first national park in the tropical Africa to be established for its floristic importance. Margaret Getty, TBC.
And that item concludes local news tonight. International news is up next. And here is Faithan Gaga with international news.
Leaders from member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Countries, ASEAN, have met in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. In that meeting, one of the agendas they will discuss is the peaceful future of the country of Myanmar. However, 10 members of ASEAN have already split before the start of the meeting. A divisive area is the future of Myanmar's peace plan. However, the military rulers of Myanmar junta, which is ruling the country in Myanmar, have not been invited to the meeting. The junta has failed to implement the 2021 Asian Peace Plan. Myanmar's military rulers have faced criticism since they ousted democratically elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. A rescue ship carrying 230 people has docked at the French port of Toulon, according to maritime authorities, amid a French-Italian dispute over which country is responsible for them. The Ocean Viking, operated by a French NGO, has picked up the people at sea near the Libyan coast before spending weeks seeking a port to accept them. France had never before allowed a rescue vessel carrying people from the Mediterranean to land on its coast, but did so this time because Italy had refused access. French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin said on Thursday that the people were Italy's responsibility under European Union rules, and the French move was an exceptional measure that would not guide future action. He said Italy's refusal to accept the people was incomprehensible and that there would be severe consequences for Italy's bilateral relations with France and with the EU as a whole.
Thank you so much, Faithan Gaga, for that piece. And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. But don't forget, as World Cup is around the corner, TBC is ready to show you the matches live. I am Teddy Mparanyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.
nyumbani
What a way to start for Brazil.
Kutoka Tanzania mpaka Qatar. Safari hii tunarudi kivingine. Hawataamini nawaambia. FIFA World Cup 2022 live kutoka Qatar. Bonge nyumbani. Hapa TBC, ukweli na uhakika. Ni Novemba hii.
That has got to be one of the great goals of the World Cup finals. And of all people,
unapatikana kupitia visimbuzi vifuatavyo: DSTV